Clearing close in the forest you'll find a fabulous banquet, a fairy ball. If you close your eyes and you open your mind, the veil disappears and you see it all.
Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese, and for those of you who know me, you know that I am so excited about today's video because I love talking about and covering all of the different haunted dolls across the world. There's something about a haunted doll that is just so freaky, and I love diving into the differences between them all and learning more about each and every one. And today's haunted doll, Lilly, is probably one of the saddest backstories behind a haunted doll that I can think of off of the top of my head. Meaning, like, from all of the haunted dolls that I can think of now, the one that I'm about to tell you about, whose name is Lilly, is a very, very sad backstory and a very heartbreaking circumstance. So I'm really excited to cover this with you guys. I have never seen a video on this doll ever, so I'm excited, which I've said a million times. But before we get into Lilly the Haunted Doll though, I would very quickly like to thank today's video sponsor, Lost Island Blast Adventure, which is a game, a mobile game that I love so much. It's absolutely insane. Basically, you find yourself on your island, which is completely a disaster and a mess when you find it, but you have to solve puzzles in order to get stars and rebuild your island. Legends of the island say that there are ancient spirits which haunt the island, but I really do have to say that my favorite part of this entire game is solving the blast puzzles, which you do in order to get the stars, and the stars help you build your island and make it your own, which is also so much fun. Basically, you just build your island, do tasks, and uncover the secrets behind the island. You can download the game for free at the very top of my description, but not only is the game completely free, but you have the chance to win a brand new Apple iWatch. The first 4 players who reach the highest level by December 1st will win an Apple iWatch, which is so much fun and so cool that you can play such a fun, addicting game and win an iWatch in return. So make sure you go ahead, click the link at the top of my description, play the game, and win an iWatch. Thank you so much to Lost Island Blast Adventures for sponsoring, and without further ado, let's just dive right on into Lilly the Haunted Doll. So Lilly is a haunted doll from Salem, Oregon, which now resides in Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum. She is an 1800s German doll who has real human hair on her head. She is deemed incredibly haunted, but the story behind her is so sad. And what I found really crazy and really interesting about this specific haunted doll in particular is the fact that there's really not much on her. We know what Zach Bagans has shared about her, but there isn't articles upon articles about this doll. There aren't a ton of YouTube videos. I didn't even see one while doing my research. So there's limited or little to no information about this doll other than the plain facts which Zach Bagans has shared with us, and those alone are enough for me to just believe that there is something crazy going on with this doll. So an antiques dealer actually found Lilly the Haunted Doll inside of an antique chest and brought the doll home. Now, upon the doll entering into his home, he began having these reoccurring nightmares about a little girl who had a very bad accident. Now, he said that these nightmares were way too disturbing to even tell, but he just knew that these nightmares and the little girl who had the bad accident were associated with this doll that he had brought home from the antique chest. He then put the doll into his antique shop, where one day a little girl came into the shop with her parents and began speaking with the doll for 3 hours as though it were another child, like a real child that she was communicating with and speaking to. This caught the attention of everybody in the store, and everybody was curious as to the other side of the conversation that they were hearing of this little girl. Like, they could just hear her speaking to Lilly the doll for 3 hours as though she were a real child, but they couldn't hear the responses. So when this conversation concluded, everybody was really curious as to what was being shared with this little girl. This little girl actually told everybody in the shop that Lilly was a little girl who was subjected to severe and extreme violence, and that she told her name was Lilly and explained the tragic events of her life and the violence that she was surrounded by. Now, when Zach actually acquired Lilly the haunted doll, a woman had to retrieve Lilly and had to physically touch her in order to get her down from the casing in which she was up high in. The older woman looked completely flushed and began to panic, and she recited and repeated over and over again, "I must wash my hands, I must wash my hands, I must wash my hands," to which she suddenly became immobile and had super sharp pains within her stomach. So Zach Bagans took Lilly the doll. The doll now resides within his haunted museum along with all of his other haunted items, and that right there is overall the summary of what Lilly the doll is, or who Lilly the doll is, and what her history was. And there's very little, like I said, to go off of. There's not a ton of different encounters. It's not like other haunted dolls where they had multiple owners and we had a bunch of different stories to go off of and correlations. This is all that we know. But it's sad. If you really sit back and think about the fact that there could be the spirit of a child who endured extreme violence and suffering trapped inside of a doll, it's just so heartbreaking to think of. Whenever we look at which specific spirits more often than not wind up trapped here or stuck to an object, more often than not they're spirits who either died an incredibly tragic death or a quick death. Murder, suicide, things like that are amongst the highest as to why people wind up trapped. And so if this little girl was maybe murdered or she lived a life of extreme violence, whatever the circumstances may be, it really wouldn't surprise me that she would be trapped. But with that being said, it raises a lot of questions to me. I want to know, did she own the doll, and when she passed, she went into the doll? Was she a spirit that found the doll and got an attachment towards it? I don't know. And I think that that's what's so sad and so fascinating and intriguing about this specific haunted doll case, is there's not much for us to go off of or to know. All we know is that there is a spirit of a child trapped within this doll named Lilly, who had a very, very sad life. I had never heard of Lilly prior to doing research into different haunted dolls that I had yet to cover. And even though there wasn't much to share with you guys on it, I just found it to be a fascinating case. I found it to be really sad and heartbreaking, and a lot of different questions and theories popped up into my mind. So I thought, why not come on here, share Lilly with you guys, and see what you guys think of this story, of these circumstances, because you guys always come up with the most incredible theories about anything, and I just love sharing both big and small paranormal cases with you guys and trying to figure out what could be going on. So at this point, I would love it if you guys would go ahead and drop your comments down below and let me know what you think the situation with Lilly is. Have you guys heard of this haunted doll before? Like I said, I never had, so I really wanted to share her with you guys. And overall, that is it for today's video. If you guys are new to my channel, or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my videos, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button and join the Reese's Pieces. We would absolutely love to have you here. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. It makes my heart super, super happy when you guys do that. I say it all the time, but I really, truly mean it. So please do that. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until next time, I love you.